Today I want to talk a little bit about a common safety concern regarding percussion caps. I'm Dustin and you're watching Guns of the West. Here's an email I received from username HL. He writes, "So one thing that spooks me when loading is the chance the cap might go off. How hard is too hard to push on a small number 10 or a pinched number 11? Am I being too cautious, or can you literally slam them on?" Now, first of all, I just have to say I don't ever recommend pinching caps to make them fit, but that's a whole different subject for another video for another day. Now, I don't recommend that you slam them on, as it says at the end of that question, but I do want to give a little clarification on the danger, or maybe actually the safety, of pressing the caps onto the nipples. Well, here's my little Wells Fargo revolver from Uberti in 31 caliber. I chose this one because it has a pretty light spring, and that's actually going to help serve a point that I want to make a little later on in the video. And I've got three different brands of caps here. I've got some Winchester number 11s, some CCI number 11s, and then the Remington number 10s. Now, I realize those are very hard to come by at the time of this recording, but they're the ones I recommend the most and the ones I use the most by far, so I want to use those for this little experiment. The reason I'm not overly concerned about pressing down hard with my finger as I put the caps on the nipples of the gun, you have to understand what they're sensitive to. They're not necessarily sensitive to just pressure, necessarily even hard pressure. They're sensitive more to the shock type of impact that happens with the hammer of the revolver. Let's go ahead and take out one of these. I hope you all appreciate this experiment because, as I said, these Remington 10s are hard to come by. But we'll go ahead and use a couple here for this experiment. I'm going to go ahead and by the way, let me just show you. This gun is completely unloaded. I will be popping a cap on it in a moment, but completely unloaded. I'm not going to be shooting anything for sure. So, take the Remington number 10. If I can get my fingers to work, we're supposed to have a high of 18 today. So I've got it on the nipple, and I'm just going to go ahead and give it a good firm press with my thumb. And you can see that did not go off. I'm even going to rotate it around to the hammer, and I'll lay the hammer right on it. Notice I didn't let it slam down as an impact, but I'm going to now take both my thumbs and just push on that cap. Okay, I'm giving it good pressure with the hammer. Still not going off at all. Not something I really am worried about. In fact, to help illustrate this, I've brought over here, let's see, my bench vise, and I've got a Remington number 10 cap right there in the middle of it. Now, I'm not going to do this really fast. I'm just going to give even pressure and just turn the vise in like this, all the way down, and that is as far as it will go. That cap is completely crushed, so let's back it off until it falls out. Okay, here is that cap, or what's left of it. It is completely smashed. You can see the priming compound still down in there. And even under all that hard pressure, it never went off. And again, that's because it's not necessarily sensitive to pressure, even hard pressure. It's sensitive, rather, to that shock type of impact that happens when the hammer of the gun hits it so suddenly. And just to show you what I mean, I've got that cap here again on the Wells Fargo revolver. And again, none of these chambers are loaded. This is completely empty. I just want to show that even with a pretty light spring hammer, if I pull this, then it actually does work. And again, I didn't shoot anything, it just went right in here. Just a cap is all that was. And the cap obviously has detonated because of that sudden impact. Now, I'm not saying at all, don't be careful when you're pressing these onto the nipples. With guns, we have to be careful with every aspect of them all the time. I'm just illustrating it's not as much of a concern as some of the new shooters think it is to press them onto the nipples. Remember, these are impact sensitive, not necessarily pressure sensitive. Well, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video today, maybe even found the information helpful. Please don't forget to click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. And if you look in the description, you'll see where to find me on social media, as well as where to find great Guns of the West products. Thank you so much for watching.